Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Monday. Meteorologist Aaron White here in the 10 Weather Impact Center. Here's another edition of our 10 Weather Impact Show as we are tracking some pretty quiet weather here in the forecast as we go through the next several days. We're getting a return to that summer-like weather that we had, of course, over the weekend after a nice break with those cooler conditions just about a week or two ago as we had highs back in the 70s and even a couple days in the upper 60s. It was nice, but we are back to summertime, and it's going to be sticking around here for quite a while as we continue through the middle of the month. So here's a look at our current temperatures. We are well up into the 80s this afternoon here just after 2 p.m. 85 degrees in Columbus. We got 87 in Circleville. We got 85 in London, 86 in Chillicothe, 85 in Zanesville. Really everyone in the mid 80s, and Bell Fountain actually at 89 degrees here. So a little bit toasty, and a few of us will be getting closer to 90 as we continue through the extended forecast, as we are tracking the warm weather to stick around for really quite some time. Here's a live look over downtown showing 85 degrees. Winds are light, and the winds will stay pretty light here for the next couple of days, and overall temperatures are expected to be warm. The good news, though, in terms of the warm temperatures is we're not seeing a lot of that humidity around, so our real feel, when you factor in the non-existent humidity, it actually doesn't feel too bad. It actually feels cooler than the actual temperature normally, at least what we had back in June and July. We had, temperatures up in the 80s, but we also factored in that humidity. It felt warmer than the actual temperature, so a little bit different story. So thankfully it doesn't feel too bad out there despite it being on the warm side here today. And going through the next several hours, temperatures will stay up into the 80s, eventually cooling down. We'll see clear skies and maybe a few passing clouds here later this evening into tonight, and our temperatures will drop down into the 60s and briefly dipping into the upper 50s here by tomorrow morning. Now, what we're not tracking is, of course, any rain for the next several days. And as mentioned here over the last several days, last week, we got a new update to the drought monitor here on Thursday. And it has shown expansion in the drought, showing at least some moderate drought conditions across some areas in this tan color, including the Columbus metro, areas to the south and northwest, and really the entire state seeing at least some dry conditions to moderate drought developing, and likely going to see this continue to worsen over the course of the next several weeks, as we don't have any large systems to bring us any really good rainfall to really offset the drought conditions that have already developed. And normally in the month of September, we see just over 3 inches of rain, and so far we've only had a quarter of an inch. That was back in early September, around the 4th and 5th of September, where we had just a quarter inch of rainfall in the morning, and really now it's just been pretty dry. And as we look at the outlook for the rest of the fall, so September, October, and into November, it really shows that we're likely going to see the drought development either continue where it's at or worsen here across the state of Ohio, especially at least for a large part of the state. And really, we just need to get some rainfall in here. So where is all the rain? A lot of it is focused to our south, with one weather system moving along the mid-Atlantic coast, bringing a lot of rainfall and potential for some flooding near Raleigh and across eastern North Carolina into parts of Virginia. Meanwhile, more systems are moving to the north across the Great Plains in parts of Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, the Dakotas, Minnesota, seeing at least potential for anywhere from a half an inch to over 1 inch of rainfall through the next several days. The time period, this actually takes us all the way through Saturday night, because after that, as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, that's when we actually see our next chance for any rainfall here across Ohio. And what we're looking at here, anywhere you see the blue, that indicates potential for at least a half an inch of rain. So a large part of the state seeing the green, but still some blue showing up there. So we have at least a chance for a quarter to a half an inch of rainfall going into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Now, it's something, and any rain is good rain at this point, but it's just not enough to really dig us out of the drought, because we are more than 4 inches below normal. So we at least need 4 inches of rainfall in addition to what we normally get through the month of September, and that's again around 3 inches of rain. So we're talking about by the end of September, if we could get 7 inches of rainfall, we would be back on track and actually getting us out of the drought. But that's a lot of rain to get in. Really, we're already into mid-September, so for about 15 days to get that much rain, it's going to be hard to do so. So A little bit of rain expected in the forecast next week, but like I said, we need a lot more. As we go through the next couple of days, we're not tracking any of that rain. No moisture in the forecast, just a lot of sunshine. A few high clouds passing through tonight into tomorrow morning. Otherwise, we are expecting more sunshine here for tomorrow. A few scattered clouds as we get into the afternoon. Really nothing to worry about. It's just going to be on the warm side. Temperatures in the 80s for the next several days. And keep in mind with the sunshine, we still have that high UV index. Maybe not as quite as high as we see in June, July, and August, now that we're getting that lower sun angle, now that we're already getting closer to the start of fall here. Just 1 week from today is the official start of the fall season on September 22nd, next Monday, that we may actually see some cooler conditions coinciding with that as we get some moisture back into play. So here's the long-range forecast showing Sunday evening our next best chance for rain. That's going to be coming through Sunday evening, overnight, and into Monday. And likely will also bring some cooler temperatures as we continue into the following week. But for now, we are sticking with the above normal conditions as temperatures are likely going to stay into the 80s here for really the next several days, and maybe a couple chances for rain. But it does appear like a lot of the better chances are going to be further to our south and really across the center part of the country, and even out west where they're seeing more chances for rain. We're just kind of staying away from those systems as they pass just to our west and really go into the north up into Canada. So once we see a breakdown in the current weather pattern, we may start to see more systems moving through, giving us some better opportunities for rain. So hopefully by what happens next week, that may be the sign of a pattern change, and we might just start to see some more systems rolling through for the rest of September, and hopefully that continues into October. For today, though, mostly sunny skies, 88 for high temperature, nice and warm, feels like summertime, and it is still summer until we get into Monday of next week. And our extended forecast showing mid-80s here for Tuesday and Wednesday, back into the upper 80s, and we did put a 90-degree temperature there on the forecast here for your Friday. Plenty of sunshine here as we wrap up the week, so a little bit toasty for high school football as we wrap up the week. And then going into the weekend, we're still tracking the warm temperatures, low 80s, low to mid 80s, and then that chance for a couple thunderstorms, some showers and storms here as we go into late Sunday, Sunday night, and then even into the extended forecast looking ahead to Monday and Tuesday. So we're tracking that, but we're also tracking things in the climate in this week's Climate Watch report. There's actually a new proposal in California to ban forever chemicals in those non-stick cookware. So here's Jesse Mitchell with that report.
We're keeping an eye on the climate. Here's what you need to know. Hotter temperatures are increasing American sweet tooth, according to a new study. Researchers found as temperatures rise between 54 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, people are ingesting more sugar, mainly in the form of sweet drinks and desserts. Doctors warn that excessive sugar is already driving obesity and heart disease, and a warmer climate could make that worse. Meanwhile, endangered shark meat is showing up in U.S. grocery stores. Scientists purchased and tested 29 shark meat products from grocery stores, seafood markets, and online vendors, and found 93% were ambiguously labeled. The samples included meat from 11 different shark species, including great hammerheads, a critically endangered species. The study also warned that shark meat can carry dangerously high levels of mercury and called for stronger labeling rules to protect consumers and marine life. And finally, a fight is brewing in California over a proposal to ban PFAS, the so-called forever chemicals, in nonstick cookware. Teflon, a nonstick coating, is a type of PFAS that health experts warn could be dangerous if it's overheated because of potential links to cancer and other health risks. But celebrity chefs like Rachel Ray argue nonstick pans are safe if used properly and warn a ban could hurt home cooks. That's your Climate Watch. For the latest on climate and environmental news, go to cbsnews.com and follow us on Instagram at CBS News Planet. I'm Jesse Mitchell in New York.
3, 2, 1, engines full power, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Cygnus.
And you are watching the launch that happened yesterday. That was the launch of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket to the International Space Station from Space Launch Complex at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station on Sunday. This is the fourth flight of the first stage booster supporting the mission, and that was a previous launch, Launch Crew 11 and a Starlink mission. Following the stage separation, Falcon 9 landed on the landing zone 2 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. So really a cool sight there as they continue a mission, again, going to the International Space Station. Always cool to watch those rocket launches and see what they're doing with all the different kind of missions. Now, something that happened over the weekend, there was a tornado that reportedly touched down on Saturday. This was near Montezuma Creek, Utah. In a Facebook post, the agency reported it may have impacted at least 3 homes, and no one was injured, thankfully, and residents nearby the storm's path were advised to seek shelter, of course, and this is all according to their social media page, but really an ominous sight to see, especially in the state of Utah that doesn't really see a lot of severe weather and actually see as many tornadoes like that. So pretty wild sight. Just looking at the video there, you can see just a small tornado. Again, it did damage some nearby homes. Thankfully, again, no one was injured with that tornado. Now, something that also happened here over the weekend, just last night, check that out. The northern lights were seen once again across a large part of the northern United States, including here in Ohio. There's actually a couple photos where you could see a little bit of a glow on the horizon with some greens showing up there. This video there, that time lapse, this is from Isle Royale National Park up on Lake Superior in northern Michigan. Really cool display. You saw a lot of bright greens, even some reds shown up there in the video, just making for a really cool sight with the northern lights. And as I mentioned, they were actually seen by some folks in parts of Ohio. Saw a couple photos on Twitter in northwestern Ohio. So at least it was bright enough to be seen farther south than normal, and actually recorded G3 geomagnetic storm conditions last night, so pretty high. Now, something to just kind of reference is it wasn't as high as what we had back in 2024. If you remember, October and May, we had 2 big solar bursts of energy that allowed for the northern lights to be seen across Ohio. There were a couple instances back in 2024. This one was a little bit weaker, but still just enough that parts of areas north of I-70 could at least see a glow on the horizon. So a pretty cool sight last night, but not expecting to see that for at least the next couple of nights. Nothing in the forecast here in terms of the northern lights, but what is in the forecast, of course, is the heat that we have here for the next several days with those highs in the 80s. And as I mentioned, coming up on Friday, we have that 90-degree day. Not quite close to record-setting temperatures. We will have to watch for that there. If we continue to see these warm temperatures sticking around through September, we may see times where we get close to some record highs here later into the month, and hopefully we don't see the 90s continue into October. Hopefully we get some cooler weather, and at least we have a little bit of that in the forecast here after we get that rain here Sunday and Monday of next week. So that'll do it for us here today on the 10 Weather Impact Show. Coming up later on this evening, Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz will be in with the forecast and talking about all the sunshine that we have, the heat, and expanding a little bit more on the drought conditions, but also keying in on that rain chance that we have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And hopefully things start to get a little bit better and maybe bring us some more moisture and maybe better chances for some decent rainfall. Right now, again, as I mentioned, 1/4 to 1/2 inch, not out of the question, but hopefully we get some indications that we could see at least 1 inch of rainfall. That would be helpful, but not quite enough to break that drought. So until then, you can catch more news and weather online at 10tv.com.